What can you do to prove your case after you've been involved in an accident? In a word, documentation. Hi, Barry here with the Lawful Channel. As always, this channel is full of short videos on legal topics that affect your life. If you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can. I can't tell you how many times I've represented people and there is little evidence to support their claim. There's evidence that the collision occurred, or that they went to the emergency room, or maybe they got physical therapy afterwards, but there's no evidence that documents the severity of the impact, the injuries they suffered, their pain and suffering, and their expenses such as prescriptions and mileage. So first, severity of impact. Why is this important? Well, it's important because many insurance companies have determined that minor impacts cannot result in significant injuries. Of course, this is just a tool that the insurance companies are using to minimize your claims. So how do you document severity of impact? The primary way you do it is through photographs. Most everyone has a cell phone with a camera in it, but you'd be surprised how many of my clients haven't taken photographs of the damage to their vehicle. The other way you can document the severity of the impact is by the estimate or appraisal of your vehicle. If it costs $10,000 to repair your car, there's a good chance there was a pretty severe impact. However, if the cost to repair was only around $1,500 or less, the insurance company is going to flag that as a minor impact soft tissue case. Another thing to be aware of is when an insurance company sends an appraiser to check out your vehicle, they're not looking underneath the hood, so to speak. They're not taking off the bumper to see if there's frame damage. They're doing more of a superficial appraisal to check for cosmetic damage. So make sure when the repairs get done that the body shop documents the damage done under the exterior as well. Also, if you're going to try and recover for damage to personal property like your iPhone or a laptop or your GPS, make sure you document that with photographs as well. The second thing that you need to document is your injuries. A lot of my clients think that their injuries speak for themselves, that we should put the medical records in front of an insurance adjuster and they will receive adequate compensation. It doesn't work that way. No, not the part about the insurance company adequately compensating you for your injuries. That doesn't happen either. But the part about the insurance adjuster really comprehending the significance of your injuries. I always tell my clients, if it's not in the medical records, it doesn't exist. So make sure you tell your nurse or your doctor about all the pain and discomfort you're going through. This is not a time to tough it out. If there is no documentation in the medical records that you, for example, suffered headaches after the accident, well, you can argue with the insurance adjuster until you're blue in the face. You're not going to get compensated for it. Also, just like property damage, a picture really does tell 1,000 words. So if you are in a sling or using crutches or you're using a wheelchair or maybe you have road rash, take photographs of it. It will be invaluable later on when you're trying to negotiate your case. For example, we represented a client recently who suffered an ankle fracture. The adjuster tried to minimize our client's injuries and offered a very low amount. We forwarded the adjuster several photographs of our client on crutches and in a wheelchair and explained to the adjuster our client couldn't even walk after the accident. After seeing those photographs, the adjuster offered to increase the offer significantly, and it was enough to enable us to settle the case. We had another case recently involving a motorcycle accident victim, and he suffered serious road rash to his lower leg. We took photographs of the road rash and ultimately took photographs of the scarring that resulted therefrom. And as a result of those photographs, the insurance company tendered the full $100,000 of the defendant's auto insurance policy. The third way you can document your personal injury claim is by telling your doctor or your nurse about your pain and suffering. You can also document it by keeping a daily journal, whether it's in handwritten notes or on your computer. You should document your pain and suffering daily, like for example, I feel an aching or throbbing pain in my shoulder. The pain rates a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's interfering with my ability to get a good night's sleep. I can't walk my dog. I have to sleep in the lazy boy every night because laying on my back is so painful. Things like this go a long way to helping your attorney get you compensated appropriately from the insurance company. Be careful what you write, though. Your journal might ultimately be introduced as evidence, and if that's the case, you want to be cautious as to what you put in it. Don't rant in your journal. We had a case once where a client wrote a 30-page diary about his frustration with the situation, his anger at the defendant, his anger at his attorneys. This was not helpful to his case. Be brief, stick to the point, and document the pain and discomfort you're going through. Finally, number 4, you should document your expenses. It seems obvious, right? You want to be reimbursed for the things that you paid for injuries that weren't your fault, but a lot of people don't keep receipts for their ACE bandages, their gauze, their mileage to travel to and from the doctor's office. Keep receipts for all of these expenses. They are all recoverable. The one thing that clients always do send us is evidence of their copays. That's actually the one thing we really don't need, because we're going to recover for your entire medical bill, not just the copay, and the copay is just a small part of the total bill. Okay, it's time for your take on the law. Were you involved in an accident and you forgot to document some of your expenses, and as a result you weren't able to recover for them? Tell us about it in the comments below. Thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see more short videos on legal topics that affect your life, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can.